I asked Mr. Rigathi Gachagua to tell us where he had gotten this 300 million if my allegations that he's laundering money are not true. And therefore, by virtue of his response, it confirms my assertions that he has monies, he has wealth, he has cash that is suspect. If you may give me my phone. In terms of whether Kenya is a company or not.
Do you want information from member for West Mugirango?
Yes, you may.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Mutuse that the director for Credit Bank Kenya Limited is one Grace Nyachai, who hails from Nyeri and is a relative of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and therefore I say no more.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is important for this House to note that in the morning, I did present evidence of suspicious money transactions. I did present evidence that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, either by himself or through relatives or through proxies, has acquired properties that are way beyond his known sources of income, and that evidence remains uncontroverted. Turning, Mr. Speaker, to the issue of whether Kenya is a company owned by shareholders. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is playing with the intelligence of members of parliament and with the intelligence of Kenyans by attempting to twist facts. First, in terms of the law, companies are registered under the Companies Act. They are not registered under the Political Parties Act. So to come before Kenyans and to say that there were coalition agreements registered and therefore those coalition agreements are companies is to play around with our intelligence, because we know companies are registered under the Companies Act, they are not registered under the Political Parties Act. Further, Mr. Speaker, this Rigathi Gachagua was selectively chosen the sections of the Kenya Kwanza coalition agreement to rely on, and he has failed to read the document in whole. Under clause 20 of the Kenya Kwanza coalition agreement, that clause provides as follows: that there is need to achieve an inclusive government that reflects the face of Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua chose not to tell us that the coalition agreement also talked about the face of Kenya and not a company of some people to the exclusion of others. Clause 6 of the Kenya Kwanza coalition agreement provides for respect for constitutionalism. The articles of the Constitution that I stated. It provides for respect to the rule of law. It provides for respect to the national values and principles of government under Article 10. And it provides for respect to devolution. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua did not tell us that. Clause 22G of the coalition agreement among the Kenya Kwanza political parties provides that there will be adjustments that may be necessary to accommodate the development priorities of other parts of the country to ensure equitable distribution of Kenya's national resources and wealth for the benefit of every citizen and every part of Kenya. This Mr. Rigathi Gachagua could not tell you because it was going to destroy his case. And therefore, honorable members, I urge you to find that Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, in his assertions about shareholding and a company, it was not in reference to political parties, it was in reference to regions, it was in reference to communities, and the evidence that we provided remains uncontroverted, and this ground must be confirmed. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of KEMSA, again, to show a man who is a flip-flop, yesterday on live television, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua admitted that he personally called Dr. Andrew Mulwa by his own phone yesterday on television. Today, appearing before us, he denies that he did not call him. So, which part of his testimony do we believe? Do we believe the testimony that he gave yesterday on national television, that he did call Dr. Andrew Mulwa, and that he sent his own son to Dr. Andrew Muller to collect the bid bond? Or do we believe the testimony that he has brought today, altered testimony that he has brought today? I urge you to find that Mr. Rigathi Gachagua indeed did call to influence investigations. On the issue of cabinet, Mr. Speaker, if you may allow me just 1 minute. On the issue of cabinet resolution, he has admitted and proceeded to justify that despite the existence of a valid cabinet decision in a cabinet meeting that he sat, he chose to defy that cabinet decision. And for that reason, Mr. Gachagua, by his own admission, must be removed from government. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, this is the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. And for the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya to assert its constitutional authority, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua must be impeached today. I urge members. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, we have heard from members here, has made inflammatory remarks against the women of the Republic. For the respect of the women of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua must be impeached today. We have heard that Mr. Rigathi Gachagua has disinherited the widows of his own brother. And for the widows of Kenya, beginning from Madeira, to be safe, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua must be impeached today. And therefore, I urge members to find favor with my motion from clause 1 to clause 11. And as you vote to impeach Mr. Rigathi Gachagua. I thank you, Mr. Speaker,
I beg to move.
and I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Brighton, take your seats. Today you are very mobile. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, Honorable Jeho, take your seat. Honorable members, we are coming to the end of this motion. And before I put the question, this is one motion where there is no voice vote. We'll go straight into division so that no ayes have it at the putting of the question. The House Business Committee yesterday deliberated on the manner of voting, and it was unanimously agreed that there will be a roll call vote. There will be a roll call vote. That being the case, we should be done, if we are orderly, we should be done in the next 30 minutes to 40 minutes, maximum 1 hour. When we start voting, order. When we start voting, I'll instruct the clerk and the teller, having conducted yourselves exemplarily well, any member who precedes his or her vote with a preamble or a speech or a statement will be a spoiled vote. Once you are called, order. The vote is simply yes or no. Time for speeches have extinguished in the debate. I now put the question. Of course, there are always three: yes, no, abstention. Order, member for West Mugirango. There's nothing out of order. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that, pursuant to the provisions of Articles 145 and 151B and 2 of the Constitution and Standing Order 64 and 65, this House resolves to remove from office by impeachment His Excellency Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya on the following grounds. 1, gross violation of Articles 10(2)(a) and B and C, 27(4), 73(1)(a), 2 and B, 75(1)(c), 129(2) of the Constitution, and Article 147(1) as read together with Article 131(2)(c) and D of the Constitution. 2, gross violation of Articles 147(1) and 152(1) of the Constitution by undermining the President and the Cabinet and the effective discharge of the national government executive mandate. 3, gross violation of Articles 6(2), 10(2)(a), 174, 186(1), 189(1), and the 4th schedule to the Constitution by undermining devolution. 4, gross violation of Article 161 of the Constitution on the institutional and decisional independence of judges. 5, gross violation of Articles 3(1) and 148(5)(a) of the Constitution on the fidelity to the oath of office and allegiance. 6, serious reasons to believe that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed crimes under Sections 13(1)(a) and 62 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act. 7, serious reasons to believe that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed gross economic crimes under Sections 45(1), 46, 47(a)(3), and 48(1) of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act and Sections 2, 3, 4, and 7 of the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act. 8, serious reasons to believe that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed crimes by continuously misleading members of the public through false, malicious, divisive, and insightful remarks that are contrary to the provisions of Section 132 of the Penal Code and Section 29 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. 9, gross misconduct that is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President, a member of the Cabinet and the National Security Council. His Excellency the Deputy President has publicly attacked and undermined the work of the National Intelligence Service and its officers. 10, gross misconduct by openly or publicly insubordinating the President, who is the head of state and government. And 11, gross misconduct by persistently bullying state and public officers. I now direct that the division bell be rung for 5 minutes. Then thereafter, we will go into voting process. As we do so, can the whips give us, yes, Jeanette?
Mr. Speaker, I propose that only the whips should be allowed to go out of the chambers, Mr. Speaker. The rest should remain seated. Yeah. Only the whips should be allowed to go out, Mr. Speaker. The rest of the members can sit and hold their things on the. That's the rule. That's the...
Good evening. If you're just tuning in, the National Assembly has been debating the special motion by the Honorable Member Mwengi Mutuse on the proposed removal by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The Honorable Member in the special motion did advance 11 accusations against the Deputy President, and among them his gross violation of Articles 10, Sub-Article 2A, B, and C, Article 27, Sub-Article 4, Article 73, Sub-Article 1A, Article 2B, Article 75, 1C, Article 129, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, and Article 147, Sub-Article 1, as read together with Article 131, Sub-Article 2C and D of the Constitution, that the Deputy President has persistently made utterances threatening to discriminate, exclude, and unlawfully deny sections of the people of Kenya and regions of the Republic of Kenya equal opportunities for public service appointments and allocation of public resources. Another charge is that the Deputy President has made unilateral public statements inconsistent with policy positions collectively adopted by the government and contradicted the President on critical matters of governance and the exercise of the President's functions as a symbol of national unity. That His Excellency, the Deputy President, interfered with the running of Nairobi City County Government by inciting citizens against lawful directives of the county government on the planning and relocation of markets, and publicly disparaging the leadership of the county government and its decisions. Charge 4, that His Excellency the Deputy President has undermined the institutional and decisional independence of a judge through public attacks on a judge of the High Court of Kenya and falsely threatening to file a petition for the removal of the said judge in a matter in which he was a party. Another charge is that the Deputy President breached his oath of office and allegiance on account of the utterances and actions attributed to the Deputy President under grounds 1, 2, and 3. Charge 6, that the Deputy President has persistently made inflammatory, reckless, insightful public utterances over the last 2 years in contravention of the law. Charge 7, that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed gross economic crimes, namely conflict of interest, abuse of office, and conspiracy to commit crimes under sections by inexplicably amassing property estimated at 5.2 billion shillings that is incompatible with his known legitimate income and by trading with the office of the Deputy President through proxies. Another charge is serious reasons to believe that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed crimes by continuously misleading members of the public through false, malicious, divisive, and insightful remarks that are contrary to the provisions of Section 132 of the Penal Code and Section 29 of the Leadership and Integrity Act. Charge 9, gross misconduct that is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President, a member of the Cabinet and the National Security Council. His Excellency the Deputy President has publicly attacked and undermined the work of the National Intelligence Service and its officers. Charge 10, gross misconduct by openly or publicly insubordinating the President, who is the head of state and government. And charge 11, gross misconduct by persistently bullying state and public officers. The Deputy President was some minutes after 5 p.m. given the opportunity by the National Assembly to defend himself against these 11 allegations that have been leveled in this special motion which the members of the National Assembly have been debating today. And right now, Right now, the respective leadership in the House is whipping members to come into the chambers to allow the division to proceed. Remember that this requires more than 200 or at least 233 members of the National Assembly voting in affirmative, and they will be doing so through a roll call. Standing Order 65 Standing Order 65
Honorable members, take your seats. Whips, you are satisfied your members are all in the House? Take your seats. Okay. You have 2 minutes. Members who are on their feet, take your seats. Thank you.
Standing Order 65 of the National Assembly provides for the procedure for removal of the Deputy President. And it says that where a member proposes the removal of the Deputy President on the grounds of physical or mental incapacity in terms of Article 150, Sub-Article 1A of the Constitution, Standing Order 63, which talks about procedure for removal of President on grounds of incapacity, shall, with necessary modifications, apply.
You'll have to do something about these mics. Take your seats, honorable members. Osoro and Millie, are all your troops in the House? I want to draw the bar. Draw the bar. Take your seats. Sorry, as tellers for the ayes, the Honorable Zaire Janda MP and the Honorable Jared Okello MP. For the nays, the Honorable Onesmus Ngogoyo and Honorable Jane Njeri. You may come forward and join the clerks at the table. Now the voting order, the voting will be as follows. Order. We will start by calling out the Honorable Samal, member for Isiolo. Is it West? Isiolo North. You all know Honorable Samal has a condition and he needs to be assisted. So the clerk and the tellers will go to where he is. The clerk and one on either side go and take Honorable Samal's vote. Once you are done, the constituencies are numbered alphabetically from A to Z. So we'll start with probably Ainamoi is normally the first, and we'll end up with the last. Pardon? Yes. Okay, Njoroge, take the vote of Honorable Samal, Honorable Kosge, and Honorable Wanyonyi. then go alphabetically for everybody else. And when voting is going on, members, you must remain in your seats. You must remain silent and let the process go on uninterrupted, the same way you have been orderly the whole day. Of course, I put the question, pardon? Yes? Toto has already indicated to the clerks that she'll wait and vote like everybody else. So she's not in a special case. Is Mother Wangari also lactating? I didn't know that. Now, clerk, those who are supporting the motion are voting yes. Those who are not are voting no. The tellers are, as I've told you, for yes, Janda and Okello, for no's, Kasheri and Gogoyo. Clerk, over to you.
Voting starts now. Isiolo North, Lomwa Joseph Samal. Westlands, Wetangula Timothy Wanyonyi. Nominated member, Jackson Kosgei Kipkemoi. Who will go there?
I, Tim Wanyonyi, Member of Parliament for Westlands, I vote no. I vote yes. I vote yes.
Order, honorable members. He has voted yes. Order.
I, Jackson Kipkemoi Koskei, nominated Member of Parliament, I vote yes.
Yes. I'll stop them. You are done with Honorable Samal? He can't talk. Honorable members, for the rest of the members, when your name is called, don't repeat your name. Just vote yes or no. Okay, go ahead, Njoroge.
Ainab Koi. Samuel Chepkonga. Aina Moi, Benjamin Langat. Aldai, Marian Kitani. Alego Usonga, Samuel Atandi. Awendo, John Walter Owino. Bahati, Irene Joki. Balambala, Shurie Abdi Omar. Baringo County, Florence Jamatia. Baringo Central, Joshua Kandie. Baringo North, Joseph Maglap. Baringo South, Charles Cameron. Belgut, Nelson Koech. Bobasi, Innocent Obiri.